We're talking with Janet Maher, who's our newest juried artist member at the Wickford Art Association. Janet's been a member for probably about a year now, and I assume you applied as soon as you could to become a juried artist member?
I did, actually.
Yeah, I believe it's a 6 month.
Yeah.
After 6 months, then you can apply for the status. And how was that process? Was it challenging or?
Actually, it was very clear. No, it was
Yeah.
very.
Was it difficult
very
which
good
pieces you wanted to
process.
submit as an artist? Like, where am I? And
Well, I had two particular series going at the same time that were related, so I did a little bit from each. That's how I kind of split the difference.
Oh, no, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's always the hardest choice, I think, is where am I as an artist and what do I want to present. So, but your work is beautiful. Do you want to describe to us like how you do it, or?
Well, collage has been part of my background for a very long time, but also book arts and things related to that, and I taught for many years, great many things, including printmaking, drawing, and everything that was part of my background, and things I did, I would create courses around. So when I retired, I started to think, what do I still want to do? And I kind of pulled myself in and decided to focus on collage and book arts related materials. So that's kind of where things are all coming from at the moment.
And where do you find your material? Just do you go to like bookstores or yard sales or all of the above?
Well, when I was teaching, I would have field trips with my students to go to antique stores and places like that, and we would always start with things, magazines and various things. But for myself, I made a rule to only use what's in my own studio already. So, and I've been saving things for decades. I move these boxes of things with me that rattle, and I even write on, it's okay, it's not broken.
So you're using years of inspiration,
absolutely.
Right? It's like I was inspired by this 25 years ago.
Well,
am I
my
still
own
inspired?
work. My own work sometimes there's little pieces left over from something that no longer exists, but I have these marks, goods that I've torn up for any number of times, but they all have come through my own little, my personal experience, or my own handwriting, or my father's handwriting, or something that has a direct personal reason that I kept it. And so then my ultimate goal is to eventually use everything up, but there's still so many boxes and piles, and it'll take quite a while. So having just moved, I did go through a huge sort, which was really hard to do, to let go of at least half of what I had, which was very difficult. So what's left
Now you're looking
is,
at. I mean, I'm assuming that something everything meant something to you at some point.
it was agonizing, really.
Yeah.
Because when you collage and start with just a few things, there's so much that you can get from just a small. And so when you have big drawings that you're just tearing up and throwing away.
Did you always collage, or did you do any other art forms?
Well, drawing is my foundation. So I used to be very realistic drawing, pencil and charcoal kind of based. And I used to draw a lot of nature, wood, trees. I love the intricacy of all the detail of the surfaces, and then I would abstract things, so that sometimes I would work with something I'm holding in my hand, but as I was drawing it, I would bring it out to where it became an abstract drawing that only had a vestige left of the reference that it started with. So drawing was everything for a long time, and printmaking, lithography printmaking, which is very much like, based in drawing and painting, more so than carving or other types. That was my next big passion. And so it was really as an undergraduate that my teacher, Anna Adet, just had a show at the Florence Griswold Museum, a photo of her. She's no longer living, but I did an independent study with her where she was trying to help me loosen up. And she had me tear up my drawings. And I had all these figure drawings. And just try it, see what it's like, and then collage them back together and draw into them. And that happened in the 70s.
That would be an awesome class, by the way.
Exactly.
Like
So
you
that-
said there, I think that would be a fantastic class here.
It was amazing. I mean, and that's basically, that's what I'm still doing. So I mean, it's not obvious here, but that's the root of, and I do have other kinds of things going. I should have said 3 series that I want, because one is like that, where I am actually drawing back into some things too. So, so thank you, Anna.
So would you say that she was like the most influential artist that you've worked with?
I think she was,
Yeah.
really. I worked with really great people, and I've been very fortunate like that. But she really, when I think back, I think she was my Anna held Adet, and she was great. Her own work is amazing.
Yeah.
Really amazing. Her husband now is placing it and having shows of her work. So,
Maybe we include a link to Anna's work when we're.
Oh,
Sorry.
I think being able to kind of tagging off what you were just saying, when you get there and something starts happening, getting to that point where you're just there and you're not thinking, you might be pausing and stopping and taking a breath and looking, but you start to have this communication with what's happening. Whether it's you're painting or drawing or whatever you're doing, you're just in the process. And so I think of it like a conversation. Like I don't think that's original thought, but you're conversing with the piece because you get back and then something's happened and the piece itself is telling you what to do next, what it needs. And is that it? Maybe. No, that was not.
Yeah. And where do you have like a place that you look for inspiration? Is it the collage material you've collected? Is that where you'll go to that for inspiration?
Well, it used to be that I would take myself to a park and start drawing the tree I was looking at, or it would usually be something that exists, and then I would hold something, maybe start drawing what I'm holding. I mean, of course, I've done still lifes, and even teaching, that's what I'm doing, is setting up all of that. But for myself, it's usually more just something small that gets me going. But now it's a matter of choosing certain elements that they might still be on my table from the last time I was working with that material. And there might be still some things left that I haven't tried yet. And I'll have, in this case, I have a lot of books, and I would, again, save books for my students to tear up and save all kinds of things, because people don't generally have the kind of stuff that I save. Right. and you can't kind of teach someone in the syllabus first. You have to have your stuff to bring in, it's so you have to give them things. So I would, save my own things in that way. So I have lots of either books to use or books that I've already started cannibalizing, but I still have covers, and so I might have some blank covers, and think I'm going to maybe do a 2-page spread piece, and maybe it won't end up that way, and I'll cut it, and then I have 2 pieces. But so there's a lot of source material there, but I don't look at it all. I just choose a few things, and then
you make it. I guess there's that overwhelming feeling. It's like, oh my gosh.
the studio, people walk in, they're horrified. They're just, you could just see the deer in the headlights. Then there'll be this moment, it's like, I need something red, or I need something metal. And so then I have to get up and go searching, and I have the boxes of the stuff, and the stuff that has the metal things, and the stuff that's the wood.
When you're doing the books and selecting the books, is what the passages say important at all, or is it beyond that?
Well, I read like crazy. I love to read. I've always loved to read. So I love books, physical. I love everything. Books, bookmaking, ancient books, historic books, everything. So words matter enormously. But when I'm doing this, and back I used to write. I used to draw and write things from my dreams and my journals, and so the handwriting showing up. But I would always then disguise it so that it wouldn't be about me in the end. You know, it would be hopefully just enough to intrigue someone to maybe see what does it say, but then you really can't read it. Or if you do, it's not really meaningful. So, so in the case of the books, these are, you know, sometimes they're old children's books, or they're a lot that had been discarded from libraries because they were old-fashioned, or they're historic and not appropriate anymore, or whatever. So I'm noticing what the words are, and I often, with my students, I would do another kind of thing with them where we would play with pulling words out and making new poetry and drawing back in to disguise the rest. So, but when I'm doing it, the words, I mostly am not. I'm disguising the words. So, so in this one, that's literally taking the pages of a book and tearing at the 1/8 of an inch across, so that the pages literally are getting flattened out, and you're only seeing like the vestiges of letters and things. And then all of that has to get glued together. This one is completely meshed up. That's from a dictionary. That's all sandwiched together. And part of it was a mistake. Actually, it was too wet when I was squashing it. And I thought, oh no, what did I do? And then I was like, wow, that's kind of neat looking, you know. So, but yeah, mostly the words are there, or the letter forms are there as part of, as an element in the composition.
Is it challenging, because you're saying this is part of a series, like making that connection from one piece to another to the series? Is that?
Yeah.
Did you find that challenging, or do you kind of know where you want that to go already?
Well, the rule, I always set up little rules. So the rule is that they're on the back of a cover of a book. So there is that little vestige that it's the clue that it has to do with books. But interestingly, there's 2 that I've just been working on back in the studio, which I'm so happy about. And one piece is on the back of a cover of a book. The other piece that looks somewhat related in a way, I don't think I'm going to put it on a book. I think it's just going to be a collage. Because I'm looking at the way it looks now, and I'm thinking, if I have to put this now on a book, I have to make it's already got a really finite edge, and it would be very difficult to wrap that perfectly to fit without going off a 1/16 of an inch somewhere.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm thinking, now here goes my series.
This is a series of 1.
Yeah, do I still call it library series? What do I do here? So So I don't know. Good question. I may include it just because, but maybe more can.
It was all part of it, right? It was part of the initial journey, and that's what happened. So that's why it's included.
And it really does relate. So I think there could be a case to be made, unless maybe if there's 5 or 6 that end up being like that, then they'll start to I'll give it a different title and something related to it. But,
And how did you, as an artist, is there anything you'd like to convey about your work that you haven't had a chance to share with us yet, or I haven't asked about?
Well, earlier we were talking about collaboration,
Yes.
and that has also been a very big part of my background. And I used to do big projects and gather a lot of people together, or generate something that, or start something that would generate a lot of people working together. Even a community garden, but things like that. So that aspect I always do enjoy, and that's why I like being a member of an artists association, because I like when people do share their skills. Everybody, like we were saying, everybody has a different set of skills that they're bringing to the table, and a different aesthetic, and a different way they work. And you put all of those people together, and it's really fun to see the things that happen. And many hands make light work, as they say.
And once you get past the competitive aspect, you know, and it seems it's like, I'm going to get more out of this.
Yeah,
You know?
like we can learn from each other. You know, I prefer it to academia, having been in academia for a long time, and I don't like that competitive aspect to that point that it is in academia, and it's very stressful to be trying to go with the flow and do your work in that way, but also have to be getting this done and having to show only these kinds of places and only this, and it's very stifling while you're trying to be an artist. Maybe I wasn't really in art school, so that maybe is different. It was more a general school, so maybe that had to do with some of that feeling. But in any case, I do prefer when it's artists working with artists, and artists usually love artists and learn from each other and get along. And it's a really good thing. So.
And how did you find out about the Wickford Art Association? How did you?
Well, I am a member of the Artists Cooperative Gallery Westerly, and the artists there, like here, are very cooperative and friendly and welcoming, and being new to Rhode Island. Some of my artist friends were saying, "Oh, there's this place you have to check out. This place," and so one of the first places was Wickford. So I knew about you very early on, and it just took a little while getting ourselves settled to start to explore new places. So, but I was really happy to start finally getting involved in showing. Because it's a beautiful area.
Yeah. Certainly happy to have you here as a member. And, is there anything new that you're planning on trying or experimenting with that we can look forward to something different? Or?
I may have said earlier that when I retired, I had to bring everything down to a smaller footprint. I decided not to do this anymore, not to do that anymore. I used to marble paper. I have a little press. I was a printmaker. I still have my press. So I have everything in one place now. And theoretically, I could do any number of these things. I could go back and play with again, or play with it in a new way. So for myself, what I'm trying to do is focus and do less and just do those things as well as possible and until they seem to run their course. And then, but I do crochet and I do read and I do a lot of other things. But in terms of the art, I could very easily complicate my life again. And when I was teaching all these different courses at the same time, or every semester, totally different courses. I mean, I can do it, but it was making me insane, you know. So I like the limitation of hands, and also because I also work on the computer so much, I really like trying not to do any digital work in my art anymore, and with exceptions if need be, but really just be close to the bone and just the touch and the feel.
More tactile.
Very tactile and keep it simple. Like the imagery can become complex, but the process is basically simple and just slowing down.
With the material, touching the material.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. We're super happy to have you as a member and
Yeah.
as a jam.
Welcome.
And our first, that's my jam. Oh, that's our jam, sorry.
Glad to be a jam.